So I can return to the Borscht Pool? I see. Okay. The heck am I supposed to do? There are so many different places I'm expected to freaking go, man. Well, I guess I never tried to beat this, did I? So, alright. Let's see if there's something I can do. I mean, it's pretty much the only thing I have. Alright, the Gramarye's secrets. Let's see if I can do anything with this. I have to know more about this power of Trucy's. It's like she can see right into people's minds. The first time I saw her do it, it blew mine. And after you were done having your mind blown, you took her to play cards with you. Gotta use the resources at hand, as I always say. Yet I myself have no such power. But Trucy does. Why's that? Maybe Trucy got her power from her mother? Thalassa Gramarye? I will not speak of that! Thalassa is officially missing, correct? And I think I know why you don't want to talk about her. Okay, you know what? I actually think that I do know what went on. Granted, it's mostly because of the beginning of this entire case. When I saw all of those images and stuff. Feels like, to me... Well, let's see if it works. Take that! Yeah. This is... Okay. I thought so. This would also explain the ability to coerce the two of them into doing stuff. Yeah, the three of you were a team once. Not that the entire country doesn't already know this. At your peak, you were the biggest stars around. Yet, there's another story behind the fame. One that not many know. Thalassa lost her life during a rehearsal. Except I don't think she did. To you and Valent, Gramarye's bullets. It was an accident! It wasn't me! How could I shoot my dear Thalassa? I'm sure Valent wouldn't say the same thing. It's just like another murder I might mention. Damn you! Her eyes. I loved Thalassa's eyes. To think they could read my mind was frightening. Yet there was a warmth in them that felt like an embrace. She is dead, and Magnifi Gramarye has joined her. So the only one with her power left now is Trucy? Mr. Zack? I do not know. I don't need any power to see through that one, buddy. So, I guess I'll just outright say it then. Are Apollo and Trucy siblings? Someone who inherited Thalassa's power? How would I know? My chances are slim. It would take a miracle to learn the truth. Or maybe one has already occurred. There is someone else with the power, and I know who. Do I? Yeah, You call him Apollo as if that weren't his name? I can't say that I saw that coming. This boy. His name is... I forget. Something weird. Okay. Who could he be? An attorney. Attorney? I noticed him when I went to visit a friend's law offices. So, what do we need to make of this, oh great ex-attorney? You can show me pictures of strange boys all you like. There is a better way to phrase that. But you could at least say something like, I'm this boy. I could use a laugh. Perhaps you wouldn't laugh if you knew the facts. This might not be 100% proof, but it's close. There's a link between this boy and Thalassa, actually. It's more of a ring. A ring? Perhaps this will refresh your memory. I just so happen to have evidence showing this missing link. I don't have anything like that. Yeah, nope. I can't do anything with that. I don't... Yeah. I mean, he literally just said a ring. I assume it means bracelet, but... Yeah, maybe it's time to do a little more legwork. Okay, so don't have everything I need for this. That sucks. What on earth am I supposed to do? Okay, so I need something to get her to talk to me. I just know deep down in my soul that I can't do anything here. And I can't do this either. I can't do anything in the Borscht Bowl, which really makes me feel as if there's more for me to do inside here. At least that would make sense to me anyway. But I don't see anything else in here. Yeah, looks like I'm gonna have to do some running arounds. Maybe... Okay. Let's see here. Let's head back to Drew's studio. Is there maybe something I can work with? Ah! Hang on a second. Maybe I'll just sidle on over here for a closer look. Okay, well also I see this. That's probably important. It's an awfully small frame. What's that inside it? A stamp? Ah, please don't touch that. Yeah, I'll get in trouble. That stamp belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. That's Zack and Valance. The Grammarys, isn't it? The post office issued that commemorative stamp last year, when the Grammarys were at the height of their popularity. Not anymore. Now that one of them has vanished off the face of the earth. Vera went to see one of their shows when she was quite small. She's been a dedicated fan ever since. She watched them every time they came on TV, until the end. I see. That stamp's quite hard to come by, I hear. I still wonder how she got her hands on it. Okay. That could be useful. What about this? What's this red envelope? Ah, don't touch that! That's, it's quite important. The painter's face just changed hues. Guess I'd better behave. Though it's tempting to just grab it. I would like to do so, I assure. That's a pretty bottle. Ah, don't touch that, please. I'll get in trouble. It belongs to Vera, you see. She always puts it somewhere she can see it. She looks at it often. There's a light pink fluid inside. Nail polish, I'm guessing. That's just weird. Why nail polish? And why the same one that... Okay, well, if this didn't work, then this must work, yeah? And then there's this. My stamp. Hey, she spoke! She can talk! Yeah, so the stamp. How can I keep her talking? Good question, good question, good question. Let's just talk about... Yeah, you like them. Isn't Troop Grammary amazing? Yes? Oh. I especially like those two, Zack and Valance. I mean, they're, just so magical.
Magic!
Aren't they? Aren't they? Yeah. Whenever I go to one of their shows, I'm like, whoa, magic. You know? Me too. Me too. I love them. They're so cool. It's like magic.
Magic!
Yeah. All right, she's talking. She's talking. Not saying much, but hey, we're getting somewhere. I went and saw them with Father the other day. The opening ceremony at the Grammary Museum of Magic.
Magic!
Grammary Museum? They have one of those? I guess it makes sense now that they have their own commemorative stamp. So, have you been to one of their shows? Just once when I was little, with Father. The Grammary's on stage. It was like a dream. Disappearing, reappearing, cutting apart, putting back together. They do it all. Yeah. Maybe you can keep telling me stuff like this. You know, about Zack and Valance, maybe. Oh, sure. All right, better get asking before she changes her mind. Let's go. Could you tell me your name? I don't go outside much. I like to paint it here. Why don't you like the outside? There's bad people out there. Well, true, but there are lots of good people, too. Actually, I should tell you, she was almost kidnapped once. Well, that would certainly go a long way in explaining her mentality. Kidnapped? Since then, she's been... Well, you can see for yourself. She refuses to leave the house. I see. Wait, but that doesn't make sense. She said she went to the Gammery Museum. With you, in fact. Ah, yes. Actually, she was quite insistent on it, much to my surprise. That was the first and last time she expressed such a desire to me. That person gave me a good luck charm. A good luck charm? For when I absolutely had to go outside. Yes, apparently she received something. A gift. From that client, actually. She won't tell me what it was. Hello? Father, I told you to keep that a secret. From that client, huh? Then this I have to hear about. So, your father tells me you're good at painting all sorts of things. I really like painting a lot. Father is always very happy when I paint them exactly the same. So, you did this too? Oh, yeah, that was my first job. Your first? All I used to do was paint the same thing I saw. But this was totally different. The pen slips and the way the writer held the pen and the pressure on the nib. I had to use a microscope and analyze it on the computer. She seems happy. Odd, her work was the last nail in the Gammery coffin. Ooh. I guess no one told her. I'm gonna choose to just not for a while. They're the best in the world. Huh? Oh, you mean Troop Gammery? Of course. Father gave it to me. Your father? But I asked him about it. He didn't know how you got it. Oh, I guess I just took it. Yeah. Took it? Father got a letter from that person. That person? You don't say. Oh, we talked about the Gammerys forever that day. And I'm sure that's why I was sent that stamp. I didn't want to just send it back, so I took it. They're a sneaky one, this client. Also, that thing's covered in poison. Oh my god. When I was thinking it over when we were in court, I thought, well, the client didn't know that it was a child, but if that's the case... Kristoff, you bastard. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Things are definitely coming together. So, you met the person that asked you to do this job? And you talked with them? What's this about a good luck charm you received? I can't talk about it. If I do, it won't work anymore. That's what I was told. Yeah, but I really, really have to know. Okay, hang on. I think I actually can do this one, right? Time to do some psych unlocking. Okay, hang on. I'm pretty sure I've got everything I need for this. Okay. You seem to trust this client. Quite a lot, in fact. Because they gave you this stamp? No, that's not why. They listened to me. To my problem. The problem that keeps her inside all the time? Don't go outside if you don't want to. Well, that's what they told me. But when I absolutely have to go out, all I had to do was use a good luck charm. A good luck charm. That your client gave you? And I think I know what your client might have given you, actually. Is this your good luck charm? Okay, but I did have to go to the present to get this in. Interesting. Okay. Either way, this is it, yeah? This was what they gave you, wasn't it? The same bottle's over there on your desk. Your good luck charm, right? Interesting that I'm using something from the future for the past, but whatever works, I guess. I heard once, cosmetics were once thought to ward off evil. This is a magic bottle. It has the power. Of course it does. I'll just refrain from commenting anymore on that one. And I think I know who gave you that bottle, actually. The one who asked you to do this job. But why on earth would he even want any of this in the first place? This is also weird. This man is a friend of mine. Know him? His name is Christoph Gavin. He's a lawyer, actually. I promised. I promised not to tell. Man, that face really makes me feel bad about asking her things. Like, my God. I'm sorry, I can't talk about the client, I promised. And if I break my promise, the spell won't work. I don't need a name anymore. I got my answer. You're pretty confident in this charm, then. I think they might be the devil. The devil. Or maybe an angel. What do you mean? I saw it. Or I think I saw it when they gave me this. I saw the devil's face. Are you saying the client's face looked like the devil's? No, the client was gentle, with a gentle smile. Where'd you see the devil, then? It was so quick. I don't remember well, but that's when I knew that person wasn't like other people. That's why I believe in my good luck charm. I'm not sure what this devil she saw was, but it's pretty clear that Christoph Gavin has her charmed. Well, I think that's all. I'll be leaving now. I'm sorry for what happened. If you want to apologize, try my client, Zach Gramery. Did I do something bad? What makes you think that? Your eyes. They're sad. Very sad. I'll put on my smile next time I come. Promise. I hope to see you smile then too, Vera. Oh. Okay. Take care. Thinking back on my first encounter with the young forger, I witnessed something of vital importance that day. Of course, by the time I realized it, it was already too late. Okay. Well... I can't think of a single thing I can possibly do with Gavin, and I don't have what I need for the Borscht Bowl and with Shady. I kind of figured this would be the last thing I had to do, but I don't see anything else that I can do. Alright, well, let's give it the old college try. I keep going into the present thing. That's how I did it in the old games with the Magatama. Whew, that's a lot of lux. Alright, let's talk about it. I'm flying by the seat of my pants on this one. There must be a path leading from the evidence to the truth. And that's what I'm going to find. To ask someone to take a life, even one not long for this world, that's asking someone to commit murder. Yes, our mentor was fond of dramatic moves and dramatic finales. And he got his wish. His life was taken. What weakness could be so powerful as to coerce someone into committing murder? My guess is it was a matter of life or death. Care to explain? Your troupe lived in a world of showmanship. The flashier, the better. And flashy so often means danger, doesn't it? Let us make this as painless as possible. If you have proof of this danger, then show it. Okay, well that one's simple enough. Take that! What? That's one of ours. Specifically designed for your show, I gather. A single bullet. One shot. What are you suggesting? We are magicians, Mr. Wright, not murderers. I'm not crying murder, Mr. Valance. I'm crying something far more tragic. An accident. Zack and Valance quick draw shoot 'em. How long has it been since those shots were last heard? Was the shoot 'em canceled because someone might get hurt? Of course! What other reason could there be? Well, it could have been canceled because someone had already been hurt. Fascinating, my Faustian forging friend. But tell me, what can you prove with a single pistol? Well, tell me what would have happened if there had been an accident. What if one of your bullets took a life on stage? The performance of magic is not concerned with what-ifs. It is concerned with precision. Precision whom do you claim, or rather, precisely rather, we shot, huh? Looks like I've chosen the right path. Let's just hope he walks it with me. The life sacrifice of the... I mean, I don't think that she's dead, but alright. I mean, I figured this out with Zack in the present, but whatever. Point is, there you go. But that's Zack Gramarye's wife and Trucy's mother. Thalassa, I believe was her name. Alakazarg! But how can you say this? How can you say she was struck by one of our bullets? Still in denial mode, huh? Thalassa was at the greatest risk of being shot, and this clearly shows just how much danger she was in. Oh, I think I understand. If this works, then... Yeah, okay. I was establishing that it was her specific... Okay, yeah. The question was... She was part of the routine. Gotcha. Okay. I was trying... Troop Gramarye's performances were very, very popular. So popular, they even made a commemorative stamp at the height of your fame. We were not merely the latest craze. We were an age. A golden age. And I am its golden god! It's all here on this stamp. There's the Thalassa, yes. Trucy's mother is missing, I hear. What happened to her? I don't know! Well, that's a lie. A part of his memory is still locked up. There's one thing you're failing to address. What's that? As you say, our troop was a world unto itself. If our leader, Magnifi, was so inclined, he could hide anything he wished with ease. But, Mr. Wright, then he would have hid a crime, making him an accomplice. Not a great foundation for blackmail. Al's got a point. If one of the troop members died in an accident and Magnifi covered it up, his innocence would come into question. Found the right address, Mr. Wright? I'm so close. There has to be something about how Thalassa's death could affect Zack and Valen's relationship with Magnifi. I see in your eyes, you still have something to say. How could you possibly prove more than you already have? I'll prove why Thalassa's accident tied your hands so completely. I think I get it. It's gonna take a little knowledge of the players to crack this one. The accidental death of Zack's wife tied both your hands, and this information proves why Magnifi held so much power over you. I believe... Right? It wasn't a question of who shot Thalassa. Thalassa herself was the problem. What do you mean? She was Zack Gramarye's wife, Trucy's mother, and Magnifi Gramarye's only daughter. That's what I thought. There was a terrible accident. And the two of you killed your mentor's only daughter. If that wasn't the key to Magnifi's power over you, I don't know what was. It was an accident! You want to talk about it now, buddy boy? There's no proof, none at all! But Thalassa went missing, and your mentor blackmailed both of his disciples. It doesn't take a genius to put one and one together. Ours was a complex family. You mean Troop Gramarye? The master, Magnifi Gramarye, his only daughter, and his two disciples. It does sound like a recipe for disaster, doesn't it? Do not be tempted into faulty flights of fancy! Yes, there was an accident, but that is all it was, an accident. Zack and Valen's tour de force. The guns blaze, the bullets fly straight towards the beautiful body on stage. And then crash, zing, pow! Into everything but her. Now that is magic. It happened one day when we were practicing. Same trick with a new twist. And tragedy. But as for whose bullet stole Thalassa's life, we shall never know the answer. Thalassa disappeared from our lives, and Zack was bereft of his wife. Trucy lost her mother, and Magnifi his daughter. But I don't... Okay. I'm sure the game will bring it up when they want to. And that led to blackmail, I take it. It is all part and parcel of the darkness that comes when the curtain falls. Why did Magnifi Gramarye try to cover up the accident? It was his own daughter who died. All I can say is, it was a critical time for Troop Gramarye. A passing of the torch from Magnifi to Zack and Valent. We all sacrificed so that it might be a success. Thalassa's death was the greatest sacrifice of all, yet even when her life was extinguished, her presence was not. What do you mean? In time, we, myself and Zack, found we could no longer oppose Magnifi's wishes. Magnifi forced us to perform his arts for his benefit. I see. I guess I can understand. I mean, he did lose his only daughter. But do you not find cowardice in his actions? Huh? To decide to hide the truth of your own daughter's death is one thing, but then to hang that death as a guillotine above our heads? Things were dark behind the scenes in Troop Gramarye. That's for sure. Does Trucy know? She was not told, naturally. Who would want to know that their father might have taken their mother's life? True. I had not thought of that accident for a very long time. I'm sorry to dredge up old memories, but this has helped a lot. Not to find Magnifi's slayer, I should think. True. After that accident, there was only one who came sniffing quite persistently. A reporter? He called himself a newsman at the time. Often I spied him lurking about the dressing room doing his research. Would you happen to remember his name? What was his name? Sorry, I have forgotten. But in the course of his interviewing, he became quite close to my partner, Zack. Alright, well, we're getting answers to think. Man, time travel be weird, man. I liked him not. You see, his name, I do not recall, but his scent, the cloying aroma of mint. Yes, whenever he smiled, which was far too often. I see. Well, thanks for your help. It does no good to interfere with the past, Mr. Wright, he says as I'm actively in the past. You will not uncover answers, only wounds. I'm sorry. I'd begun to notice a dark curtain hanging over Troop Gramarye, and I began to realize what I had to do. I had to protect Trucy from that darkness. The reporter he mentioned, the newsman, I never learned who that was at the time. Though I've got a pretty good idea who it is now. That smile, and the sickly sweet smell of mint. The last floss-thin thread connecting Zack Gramarye to this world. Sooner or later, I'd have to track him down. I guess many, many days later. Okay, alright. Oh, lordy loo. I see, I see. Okay, but the entirety of the past has been taken care of, it seems, yeah? Yeah. Okay, well, let's, give it a shot, I suppose. Why not? Yeah. Well, what do we have here? Remember me? Of course I remember you! Journalist meets ex-attorney in bar! End quote. Can I ask what you're doing here? Mr. Masham was poisoned, and his daughters... Oh, yes, I know! Oh, how I know, yes! It caused me no end of grief, to be honest. Journalist wishes he had tracked down case just a little quicker. End quote. Were you on the trail of the case the whole time? Zack Gramarye was a good friend. He punched you, though. Zack said something to that effect back at the Borscht Bowl Club. What a character, what a man. If a little, no, a lot, no, extremely rough around the edges. Do you think I could ask you a few questions? Oh, you serious? I mean, I'm usually the interviewer, not the interviewee. Journalist asks questions, not the other way around. End quote. Fine, shoot, I don't care. People have been asking me all sorts of things lately. Alright then, well, let's see what you know. It was tragic what happened to Drew Masham and his daughter. Forgery is a serious crime, and they paid the price. You know what really did them in, though, don't you? Yes. A forged diary page. The night I interviewed him, I found out something about Mr. Masham I hadn't known. What's that? You know, he always felt like he was being watched. Every day for 7 years. Walls have ears, potatoes have eyes. End quote. Being watched? You mean he felt guilty? No, I'm talking about feelings here. You know, I felt watched too. The whole time I've been on this case, no less. Journalist gets tingling sensation on back of neck. Freaks out, end quote. Because, you felt guilty? Why would I feel guilty? It felt like you were being watched, huh? I wonder what it all means. You've got paranoia. Drew Masham felt like he was being watched. And you along with him. You sure it wasn't just nerves? Nerves? No, it's nothing so mundane. I stopped paying attention to my nerves a long time ago. Trust me, if I hadn't, I'm pretty sure I would have had a stroke about 3 years ago. But I felt it too. Journalist sure he is being watched, end quote. Don't you wonder why Zach Gamery got rubbed out after 7 years? Right after coming into contact with me? He completely vanishes from the courtroom. Then, for 7 years, he talks to no one, not a soul. Then, just as the remaining time was almost up, he contacts me in order to have this made. And then, he dies. Starting to put the pieces together, are we? And you were being watched this whole time? Maybe not just me. Maybe you were too. Me? Okay. I met Zach through that case, actually. You mean the shooting of Magnifi Grammary? No, before that. It's not widely known. You mean the accident during the quick draw shoot 'em practice? My, you're well informed. It's taken a weird amount of time travel in order to facilitate my end of it, but yes, Phoenix is known for having a fair bit of info locked away. You should have seen me back then. I dug up quite the scoop. I wanted it all. Money, fame, women, a little puppy. All for me. I was younger then, and my days and nights smelled fresher mint than they do now. How old are you? Sorry, excuse me. How old is this man? 36? Jesus Christ. Valiant Grammary did mention one particularly nosy reporter. In fact, I was on close speaking terms with Magnifi Grammary at the time. I knew his daughter too, of course. Thalassa, was it? Really? Then Thalassa disappeared, quite suddenly at that, and Magnifi wouldn't say a word about it. Yeah, my evil habit got the better of me. Journalist catches scent of scoop, goes on feeding frenzy, end quote. I set up a one-on-one interview with Thalassa's husband, see? Zach Grammary. Something strange was in the air over at Troop Grammary in those days. The whole screwy mentor controlling disciples scene started by then, I'm guessing. You would be correct. Thalassa, she was part of it all, right? Come on, you can tell me, off the record. Sorry, I don't know. Anyway, I kept prying and eventually became friends with Zach. Sure, he punched me once or twice, or 5 times. That's assault, dude. You really probably should have pressed charges on that one. But over time, he came to see me as his confidant. For better or worse, I suppose. He's been waiting this whole time. 7 years, eh? Waiting? For his big comeback, of course. A big revival of the Magnifi Miracle. Of course, it was all a dream. Because of this. The performance rights. In the absence of any official documents, he was golden. Who's to say the old man didn't give his rights to both Zach and Valiant? So Valiant waited until Zach died. Legally, at least. The time finally comes, and Valiant's like a kid on Christmas morning. He's getting ready for his show at the Sunshine Coliseum, you know. If that document sees the legal light of day, it's gonna put a bit of a damper on the big show. Bit of an understatement if I were being real. I dare say he might actually even be rip-roaring pissed. He's a sorry one, that Valiant Grammary. Lost out to his partner at work, and in love, too. I mean, I kind of assumed that's where this was going. It's the same old story, really. Let's be real. Story as old as time itself. 2 disciples and their mentor's only daughter. Come on now. What is 3 sides and all of them pointy? Love triangle. Yeah, that is pretty classic. When you're in a performing troupe, that's your world. It's like family. One with an entire high school's worth of drama, intrigue, and backstabbing. Well, admittedly, not entirely up to snuff with a high school in terms of backstabbing. We all know that that's so much worse. And in the middle of all this, Thalassa has Trucy. And then she dies. I need to find out more about this, Thalassa. Okay, well then maybe I can just, like, ask legit. Alright, no. Well, maybe, okay, then maybe the stamp? Mr. Bristol, could you take a look at this? I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. So, you want me to write an article on that, right? What's the angle? Actually, no, that's okay. I don't need an article. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts on this. I hear you. I hear you. You want me to sniff around for a scoop? Well, you've come to the right news, my friend. It's odorless. Thanks. Okay, that was less than informative. Oh, wait, the locket, duh. Mr. Brushel, do you know this person? Do I know that person? Of course! I was friends with Zach, after all. He hit me a few times. 5 times, actually. Or maybe it was 14. I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kinda black out sometimes when he hits me. But still, I'd never forget his wife. Thalassa Grammary. Oh, Magnifi Grammary's only daughter. It's hard to tell when they're switching. Do you think you could tell me more about her? Well, why the heck not? Literally nothing is stopping me. So, Thalassa married Zach and had Trucy, see? It was her second marriage, actually. You mean, she was divorced? Hadn't heard this one before. No, not quite. Her late husband was a performer, too. Apparently, he died during some gig. Tragic, really. They had only been married 1 year. I didn't know. Ah, but she was a beauty. I still carry a portrait photo of her around, you know. She do be pretty. I've known Wait, hang on a second. Oh, it's not on the record. Damn. I've known Trucy since she was a little thing, too. She got the better deal, really. She got you for family, after all. What do you mean? Just reminiscing, you know. Thalassa has another child beside Trucy. End quote. Oh my god. What? But Trucy said she was an only child. Ah, yes. This one she had with her previous husband. Previous husband? Her first husband who died during a performance? Yep. They had themselves a kid. Another orphan now. That's another one who slipped through the cracks. No idea where they are now. I do! Thalassa had another child? Do you think I could borrow that photo? Sure. I could be generous on occasion, you know? The bracelets. Oh my god. I won't need this locket anymore. Better return it to Trucy before I forget. People and events all get tangled together and get biggerer and biggerer. Don't you think? I was too busy wondering about biggerer to listen to what you were saying. Sometimes you just gotta accept that you won't be able to untangle it all, I think. Maybe so, but God knows I'm gonna try. I have to do what I can. And I have to tell what I find to those who come next. Next, you say? I'm not the one who'll close the curtain on this little play. Apparently, that's not my role anymore. Magnifi. I was just wondering what Magnifi would think of all this. What do you mean? Haven't you seen it in Trucy? She's got his power. You mean, how I can't lie to Trucy? It was the same with Magnifi. And with his daughter, Thalassa. It's a strange thing. You think it's some grammary gene? Magnifi told me once back when Zach married Thalassa. He said Zach had good eyes. But not good like a Grammary's eyes. Not that good. I wonder if Zach ever played a game of poker with his wife. Who knows what the Grammary secret was? Maybe nobody, now that Zach's gone. Zach Grammary. Fascinating. Yeah, no, if you'd given me about 1.5 bajillion guesses, no, I don't think I would have ever guessed that Apollo and Trucy were related. Half-siblings are still siblings, man. The plot had finally begun to reveal itself. It sprouted from a warp in the Grammary fabric and grew, swallowing everything, wrapping itself around the Grammary's power. Alright, well, the good news is, I know what I can do with Zach at this point, so that's good. A power which passed from Magnific Grammary to Thalassa to the next generation. And I would once again need to meet the one who bridged it all together. Okay. We're making real progress here. Real deal progress is being made here. Alright, then back to the Borscht Bowl, I say. Okay, let's see here. Talk to this. Alright. Let's do this whole thing once again. Okay, so, already did this once. So I just need to break this thing again. It's done! There we go. And then we'll go back to where we were. Come along now. And... oh, yep. Most unfortunate. Come on now. Okay, there we go. A little bit more. There's someone else, and his name is Apollo. Alright, there you go. Okay. Now we have the proverbial ring, as it were. Actually, I know something. Your marriage to Thalassa was her second. How did you know this? Her first husband, he died a year after they were wed, yes? He was a performer. They met when he joined us Grammaries as a guest in our show. After Thalassa wed him, she left the troupe for a while. And you say she had a child then? I had a photograph of her here, or rather, I have one. I couldn't help notice what she was wearing when I first saw this. Those bracelets stand out. They're a Grammary family heirloom. This boy wears a bracelet just like the ones in the picture. What? So, that's why. Why what, Mr. Zach? I took this photograph of Thalassa before she left us. When she returned, she wore only one bracelet. But I know where that other one went. She gave it to this boy. Her son. Oh, okay. That makes it easy. Acceptable! Alright then, let's talk about it a little there, hey? This strange power, I myself do not know from where it comes. Yet the fact is that it is passed down the Grammary line. It runs in their veins. What is it? I asked her, Thalassa, once. This is what she told me. Her power responds to tension and others. Tension. If she were to face a person and they became tense, even slightly, then she would know, no matter how hard they tried to hide it from her. So she could see it. Not quite. This is the strangest part of it all. She wouldn't realize that she was subconsciously detecting the tension, without the use of a particular object. Or in her case, objects. Objects. Wait, were they something she wore? Yes, her bracelets. I admit, the first time I saw one of those, I felt there was more to it than just fashion. But what kind of power could a bracelet have? I don't know, what kind of power could a Magatama have? I have made a decision. I will tell you all I know. Consider it a gift. Alright then, fine. Well, I hardly need you to tell me at this point, but those two. My brother and sister, yes. And the brother, too, has this power of theirs. So Trucy has an older brother. I wonder what will come of that. Mr. Wright, Tonight, after our game is done, I will return to a life of hiding. I would not see her live her life without knowing. I understand. I'll tell the two of them when the time is right. I am in your debt, once again. No kidding. What I want to know is how all this got to be so messed up. Phoenix, for a few reasons, I really think you should probably let those two know that they're related. That's all I'm gonna say. Those bracelets are made of a special alloy. It is said to expand and shrink very slightly in response to body warmth. So they're temperature sensitive or something? Yes. This is how they can shrink to the exact size of the wearer's wrist. And this has something to do with the power? What have I told you? The Gramarye power reacts to tension in others. When a Gramarye senses tension, they too become tense. And this tension translates into minute contractions of the muscles. So minute, they cannot sense it on their own. Their muscles? Oh, so that's what the bracelets are for. With a bracelet on, one can sense these contractions. Because the bracelet is always a perfect fit. So when the person they're watching gets tense, the bracelet feels tighter on their wrist. It is nice to get explanations for all this stuff, let's be real. I feel like I'm not commenting too much on things. I'm really just kind of taking in this literal tidal wave of information. Precisely. But that alone doesn't really count as mind reading. I believe I understand how the process works from there. It is a simple question of eyesight. Eyesight? I guess that sounds simple enough. Alright, well, let's talk about it. Have you ever heard of kinetic vision? Can't say that I have. Something about the ability to see moving objects with full clarity, right? I've heard of it before. They say athletes can see a moving ball like it was stopped if they focus. Oh, but it's not confined to sports alone. It all relies on the ability to focus. When we focus, we can see many things. The faintest twitch of the face and the meaning that lies behind it. Therein lies one of the secrets of magic. One must know the mind of a crowd before one may distract it. So basically what you're saying is the Gramaryes can see really well. For them, seeing is more than believing. It is knowing. Their power relies on eyesight combined with exceptional focus. Things are starting to come into focus for me, too. Of course, it is difficult to maintain such levels of focus for any length of time. But what if someone could tell you when to focus? For something. Precisely. But wait, Trucy doesn't have any bracelets. Is she just a natural talent? We're talking about poker, yes? The timing of when to focus is so elementary, she probably does it without thinking. I doubt Trucy herself has realized this. That is all I know of things Gramarye. Thank you, Mr. Zack. If this boy's bracelet is the real thing, then he will use it before long, thereby awakening his power. I'll keep that in mind. It also explains why Phoenix knew as much as he did before he ended up talking to everybody. Yeah, it's all coming together and it all makes sense. Well, shall we play a game? I've said so much. Let me say one more thing. I will tell you of that night. That night? That night my mentor, Magnifi Gramarye, passed from this world to the next. I'm listening. There were 2 pistols and 2 letters sent. This was Magnifi's test. A test? In his last years, Magnifi Gramarye worked us to the bone. No, to the pain. But that night, I could not shoot him. So I shot the clown's forehead instead. This, it seems, was the correct answer. Take this. I give my art to you, Zack. What? It is thanks for playing along with my show. You shot well tonight, Zack. Though I would not have minded dying by your hand. How could I shoot you? Or my mentor? I thought you might say that. If I went home without shooting anything, what would you have done then? Then, of course, I would have given Valant his chance. And if I had shot you in the forehead instead, then it would be over. If you or Valant were to shoot me in the head, then I, to the darkness, would go, and my art with me. A fitting end, don't you think? Yet this ending, too, gives me no cause for regrets. I thank you, Zack. And I am sorry. I have done much that was wrong in my day. It seems to me that Magnifi wanted you to be a successor all along. That's why the time he gave you was earlier than Valent's. Perhaps. But it is not something we will ever know for sure now. I wonder, what is Valent up to these days? Waiting for you to die, mostly. If 7 years pass like this, the performance rights go to him. And now here I am, and his dream is ended. It's worse than that, actually. Public opinion's a fickle thing, you know? What? You don't need to tell me they put the blame for our mentor's death on him. The trial ended when you vanished, Mr. Zack. There were even rumors that Valent had helped you pull it off. That's madness! Well, it seems that before I can once again disappear from this world, I have one more act to perform. Isn't it odd that sorting out my life should prove so complicated, even though I'm dead? That night, Zack Gramarye was killed. He died as Shady Smith, a mysterious traveler with a secret past. But he left one thing behind before he parted. This. To whom it may concern, 7 years passed. I, Zack Gramarye, murdered my mentor, Magnifi Gramarye. I apologize for the trouble caused by my sudden departure from court, and hereby confess to my crime. His confession to use as I saw fit. Of course, he'd killed no one. This was his way of tying up loose ends with his old partner, Valent. I see. I guess if he figures he was going to be dead metaphorically anyway, may as well, right? It would make sense, I suppose. Okay. Still not sure what I can do about this, so I guess there's only one place left to go. Present day, Sunshine Coliseum. Oh. Well, this is a blast from the distant past. Long time no see, Mr. Valent. 7 years has it been? Frankly, I didn't think I'd ever see you again. Actually, I came because there's something I need to ask you. I've spoken to the press, I've nothing more to say. I've spoken to a lot of people myself and come to some conclusions. But then I realized I needed to hear it from you. So, you're gonna be talking to me no matter how you look at it, my guy. I have walked a difficult road these past 7 years. Because you couldn't perform Magnifi's repertoire? Do not be deceived! Valent's skill is the real deal. I do not require my mentor's hand-me-downs. I merely greatly desire them in all capacities. For the love of God, please let me have them. Oh, God. No, it was my partner who slowed me on my way. Zack Gramarye? His rather well-performed disappearing act 7 years ago was the end. Or so I thought. Zack Gramarye murdered our mentor and fled to escape punishments for his crime. You said something to the effect 7 years ago, didn't you? I remember it as if it were only yesterday. Yet that was not the way of it, in the end. For while he vanished, the suspicion upon my own person never did. His partner Zack vanished to protect him. That's what those thieving magpies of a press said. I had no idea. Yet that very same press comes to me now, feigning interest. They cover the greatest magic show in history as if it were a vaudevillian distraction. And here I must stand, smiling at them all. What am I, if not a player in some fiendish farce? Might I suggest it's because you never made it clear what happened? Magnifi's death is still a mystery to this day. Which is why I came here to get the answer from you. Ah, I see. Well, I should have everything I need. I knew I'd be seeing these sooner or later. The audience has no business stepping upon the stage. They must be content to sit and stare at the spotlight. That sounds an awful lot like something I heard 7 years ago. It sure is. Alright, I should have everything I need for this. Alrighty. Let's see what we got. Ask what you will, you'll get nothing from me. I'm as much a part of this affair as you are now. I have to know what happens. For 7 long years I have endured. Now finally the curtain lifts on my new golden age, and I am that golden god! All the miracles of our troop within my grasp. Sorry to do this, Valent, but right now I need answers. I think I'll start by dropping a bomb. That should shake things up. Valent, I wouldn't be so sure about those miracles. Not as long as I have this. Alright, well. I think, yeah. Yeah. And what might that be? I see it bears the Grammarier seal! God, Grammary seal! I should have brought this to your attention sooner. But I didn't imagine you'd be planning your comeback quite so fast. What is this? A document showing the true recipient of the performance rights to Magnifi's miracles. What? Zach Grammary? He wrote this? What? He passed everything to his daughter? Trucia Enigmar. Actually, she's officially my daughter these days. Preposterous! Zach is gone! Vanished into the void! This is the genuine article. Zach was alive when he wrote this. Both myself and the notary can testify to this. Why does fate toy with me so? Why must my life be lived enthralled to the dead? You're not the only one with that problem. But he shot Magnifi! Yes, it was Zach, it was! And then he left, and my career as a magician fell into darkness. Did you think there might be some way out of it? Say if you could prove Zach Grammary shot Magnifi? Was that why you testified? Yes! My way out! It should have been my way out! Well, it might not be too late, Mr. Valent. All you need is a way to prove your case. Who really killed Magnifi Grammary? I mean, I guess I gotta give him this. And I believe I have the answer to your prayers right here. Zach Grammary wrote one more thing before passing on. But this is a confession! In which he admits to the killing of Magnifi Grammary. See? All according to your plan. I am a magician by trade. Deception is my life's work. I fool the audience, give them a fleeting dream. Yet, it seems the tables have turned. Now I am the audience, believing in the deceptions I have wrought upon myself. Zach wrote this right in front of me, after I explained your situation to him. Alakazam, oh my god! No matter how you feel about him, he clearly cared about you enough to at least do that much. You do know that this confession is nothing but lies. Yes, it's my opinion that Zach Grammary killed no one. Then you must be thinking the truth is a simple matter of elimination. 2 received instructions to kill, but if one is innocent, then the one who remains is guilty. That would be the logical conclusion, yes. So he vanished to protect me, his partner. A stirring tale, 'tis true. Did you shoot Magnifi Grammary in the forehead? If I had, and I told you, what would you do? Run to the police, perchance? Do as you will, there's nothing left for me now. It is true, after all. I have little talent. I needed my mentor Magnifi's repertoire. It was as if a little demon grabbed hold of me. I knew it. So Valent Grammary did kill the great Magnifi. So sorry, Mr. Wright. But it was not I who shot my mentor. What? But if it wasn't you, then who was it? There wasn't another disciple, was there? Another disciple? Such as? I don't know. Knack and Talent Grammary, maybe? Your wild fancies couldn't be further from the truth. Only Zach and Valent received those threatening letters. But there was another. One more person could have fired that pistol that night. I don't suppose you figured it out by now? If it wasn't Zach or Valent who shot Magnifi, then it had to be the only other person at the scene, which means... Wait, you don't mean... Yes, the great Magnifi Grammary himself. Wow. So, Magnifi Grammary committed suicide? You find it hard to believe? To be honest, I hadn't even imagined it as a possibility. When I arrived that night, the old man was still alive. He appeared to be asleep. I could not shoot him. But when I turned and made to leave the room, the old man called out to me. So you spoke with Magnifi Grammary? Yes. And this is what I knew. This is why I knew what he had done. Magnifi transferred the rights to his repertoire to my partner, Zach Grammary. Not me. I see. Then I guess I owe you an apology. I always thought you were the one who did it. You owe me no apology. Huh? My crime was, in a way, more serious than that of murder. What? Your crime? Is Valent Grammary confessing something to me? What could be more serious than murder? Oh boy. You see, I knew that 2 letters had been sent. There are no secrets between partners. It was easy to find out. That was when I understood Magnifi's plan. He wanted to die by one of your hands? Little did I expect it had anything to do with the rights to his repertoire. That was when I heard it. The little demon whispering inside my heart. The demon. Let me confess, I had intended to shoot Magnifi. And I planned on framing my partner for the crime. What? That night, I prepared something before going to Magnifi's hospital room. Which was? IV fluid, of course. I had seen it on an earlier visit. If Zach did not shoot, I would do the deed. Then, I would use the IV liquid to place the murder on his hands. That was my plan. But you didn't shoot him. I could not. The demon in my heart fled when the moment came. But then Magnifi called me back. I am sorry, Valent. I'm giving my magic to Zach, not you. You still lack the draw he has. Frankly, nobody gives a damn about you in general. It's, pretty sad, honestly. Please help him, if you can. I left that room, and then I stopped. The shock of what I had just been told consumed me. That is when I heard the fateful gunshot. Magnifi Grammary killing himself. Then the demon awoke anew within me. Zach killed him. He was the one. Frame him, and the magic will be yours. I altered the scene of his suicide. I took the pistol from his hand, wiped off the prints. Then I used the syringe to add the IV liquid I'd brought. So in the end, things happened pretty much as planned. Magnifi died, and you framed Zach for his murder. As planned indeed. Of course, the outcome was somewhat different than I had anticipated. Well, what do you think? Do you believe my story? Can it be believed, truly? That was 7 years ago. I don't know what to believe, but... Yes? I'm glad I heard it from you, Mr. Valent. Thank you. It is I who should be thanking you, Mr. Wright. Only when I had lost everything could I make my decision. You're going to turn yourself in? My partner may have vanished, but not so my guilt. And as my guilt stays, all else begins to leave me. My friends, my performance rights, my magic. I've had enough of vanishing acts. I understand. I thought my life was ruled by a dead man. But I find I was wrong. For Zach Grammary was alive. Well, not anymore. And now, it occurs to me. What if he was not the only one who survived? What do you mean? You see, now that I think about it, I realize that we never saw proof of her demise. We never saw her body. Her? The mind races and the mouth flaps on. My apologies, forget this matter. I can only hope that the day will come when I again meet my partner, Zach Gramery. Then, I shall apologize for my terrible mistake. I'm glad we had this chance to talk. Thank you. Zach Gramery, Shady Smith, whichever name you prefer, he's no longer with us. The truth revealed in that trial was only a sliver, and the impenetrable darkness that remained had taken another life. I knew what I had to do to push back the darkness for good, and it would involve paying that man a visit. Well, okay. I don't feel as if I've really gained anything, though. Sorry, sir. Prisoner Christoph Gavin is currently occupied? I see. Do you know when he'll be finished? Well... Could you go find out? Certainly, sir. Please wait here a moment. My apologies to the guards, but there's something I need to see. Yes? Yes, there is. There it is. The yellow envelope. And the sender is... Drew Masham. I was right. When I arrived at the studio, Mr. Masham was at his desk. He seemed to be writing a letter, but he quickly sealed the envelope. It was a yellow envelope. I heard it was left at the crime scene. If this is the last letter that Drew Masham wrote, then there's something I need to do. The last thing I need to do, in fact. Here goes. Let's see if this spray finds anything. Christoph killed Drew. So this was Drew Masham's messenger of death. It was this stamp, all right. No mistaking it. And his last letter was sent to Christoph Gavin. The interview request came like you said it would, and they're looking into the case. I swear on my life I won't tell them about you, so please release this spell you've put on my daughter. I'll write later with a report. Gotcha. Okay. Finally. Decisive evidence. What's this? A burglar? In jail? Gavin. I didn't know you moonlighted in larceny, right? Only when it benefits me. Gavin. There's something I have to ask you. Can I steal your stuff? The answer is no. My apologies, but there's not much I care to discuss. Vera Masham hasn't received her verdict yet. You follow me, Gavin? There are no known survivors of poisoning. Yes. But it never hurts to hope. Okay. I'll be leaving now, then. Right, wait. Yeah, Gavin? Would you mind leaving that letter? It's private. Oh, sorry. Forgot I had it. Many thanks. That thing was a camera?! Oh my god! We've now seen all the clues in this case. Clues I gathered over 7 long years. Now it is time. Every story has an ending. We've come to the final chapter. The final trial. Find the truth. You're the only ones who can.